We're committed to looking at all kinds of issues, again, based on what the whistleblowers have told us and based on what we've learned about the Hunter Biden situation. But I'll tell you one of the things I really want to know, because this had such an impact on the country. I want to know the 51 former intel officials who signed the letter, which became the basis for suppressing the Hunter Biden story 2 years ago this month, just prior to the most important election we have, election for president of the United States. What was the basis that did the FBI talk to these 51 people? Who was the individual who organized those 51 folks to sign that letter? Because that letter was the basis for keeping that information from we the people. And as a result, surveys show, polling shows that if the country would have known that, there would be a different person in the White House. President Trump would have won re-election. And if he wins re-election, we don't have this mess that we currently have. We don't have the border that's no longer a border, the record inflation, the crime out of control. We don't have this. So that's what I'm committed to getting to the bottom of, which goes directly to the FBI. Because remember, the FBI sat down with the folks in big tech, the folks at Facebook, and said, hey, you may want to be on the lookout for Russian disinformation. This letter which said this has all the earmarks of Russian disinformation. That was baloney, but yet that's what was pushed, and that's what we need to get to the bottom of, more than, frankly, anything else, because it impacted who was commander-in-chief of our great country.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, there are so many things to look at. Senator Chuck Grassley is investigating a 2017 deal involving the Biden family. He wants to know why the $5 million interest-free loan from a Chinese energy firm was never probed as to a possible pay-to-play plan. I mean, so how long has this influence peddling been going on, and how long has the FBI been covering it? I spoke with Devin Nunes on Sunday Morning Futures on Sunday, and he talked about the origins of the FBI talking and turning so political. Here's Devin Nunes from Sunday Watch. Do we have that? He said it started under Obama and Clinton, Congressman, and that Obama had his own small cabal within these agencies. And then he said that he wasn't going to share much of it with Congress because he was putting it under the quote, national security. So cutting you and your colleagues out.
Yeah, no, look, we have to get to the bottom of this, and it has to change. Not just, we have to expose the facts so the country gets the truth and the facts, but it has to be done in such a way that in the end there's real change that happens there, because, again, it's truly unprecedented. 14 whistleblowers have come to our office. Multiple whistleblowers have went to Senator Grassley, Senator Johnson. They've told them all kinds of things about not just the Hunter Biden situation, but all kinds of political activity going on at the Justice Department. That all has to change. And frankly, Maria, it starts with, and I think we talked about this on your show a couple of weeks ago, it starts with not reauthorizing FISA, taking away this authority that was so abused. We know it was abused based on what we just learned in the Danchenko trial, where Brian Auten, the guy that whistleblowers have told Senator Grassley's office was part of suppressing the Hunter Biden story 2 years ago, was also the guy who testified this past week and said that they were willing to pay $1 million to Christopher Steele to validate the dossier that they knew was false, based on the fact they were willing to pay to validate it, for goodness sake. So that all has to be dealt with. We're committed to doing that. We're committed to doing it in a way that's consistent with the Constitution, but in an aggressive fashion, because, again, we have seen things we never thought we would witness from this. Raided the home of a former president, taken the phone of a sitting member of Congress, kicked in the door of a pro-life leader outside of Philadelphia, arrested him in front of his wife and 7 kids. We've seen all that in the last 2 months, in addition to all these whistleblowers, in addition to what we know about Hunter Biden, in addition to what took place 2 years ago, just before our most important election. If that doesn't warrant a real investigation and real change coming, I don't know what does.
Yeah, but how are you going to deal with the fact that they're not going to work with you? They're not going to release anything. I mean, you've been demanding documents for years over the Russia collusion lie, and you didn't get the documents. Now we hear Tim Tebow, the FBI agent who left the FBI, who was in charge of the FBI raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago property. He says he's not going to work with you. He's, go pound sand.
Well, we don't have subpoena power now. If we get the majority, we'll have that. And if we have to, we will use that. because we're committed to getting to the truth. Our job as part of our constitutional duty, when we take the oath of office on January 3rd in the new Congress, we swear an oath to the Constitution. Part of that duty is to do the oversight, to do the investigations so the country gets the facts. Now, ultimately holding people accountable, that's for the Justice Department to take up. But our job is to get the truth and the facts out there. We're going to do that, just like Senator Grassley's committed to doing that. We're going to do that if, in fact, in 20 days, the American people put Republicans in charge of the United States Congress. Are
you expecting Christopher Wray to step down next year?
I don't know. I see all kinds of problems there. You can go to the FISA issue and a host of others. But again, I underscore this so much, Maria.
Yeah.
14. We've never seen, my time in Congress, never seen that many FBI agents come to us taking whistleblower status, telling about all the wrong that is going on there.
Yeah.
That underscores how serious this problem is.
That's incredible. And I know you've talked to them also about what the DOJ has done to regular moms and dads and teachers because of what they're teaching in school. Congressman, thanks for your leadership. We'll be watching. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
All right, Jim Jordan joining us this morning in Ohio.